One of the most impactful movies in my life was The Matrix. I had to watch the movie several times to actually understand it. Once I understood it, I watched it even more number of times just to relish each and every frame of the movie.
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream?
As I watched the
How would you know
movie,
difference between
I found myself battling with the same kind of questions about life that Neo was.
What is the Matrix?
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. You are a slave born into a prison for your mind.
I found a mentor in Morpheus, just as much as Neo
To
did.
realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
A human being.
The way in which the movie explored things like choice, freedom, the nature of reality, and so on, was for me very, very powerful.
So you're here to save the world.
I'm trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through.
I remember walking out of the cinema hall wondering if I was in the Matrix or if I was in the real world. There were a lot of questions. And those questions inspired me to question the status quo of my reality. I began to question my notions of who I was and what I was capable of. That very act of questioning caused fundamental shifts in my life. Beyond all the jazzy special effects and Japanimation, the story of The Matrix was grounded in a deep and profound philosophy. I did not notice it at that time, but now when I look back, I can't help but notice the sheer power that philosophy had on my life. In fact, philosophy can have a great impact on people's lives. Philosophy provides tools that allow people to question the status quo of their reality. The study of philosophy can dramatically alter people's perception of their reality, make them feel more alive actually. Around the world, people are increasingly waking up to the power of philosophy. Recently, a school in Sydney introduced philosophy lessons for their students and found a remarkable shift in behavior and marks. My son goes to a school where they focus on letting children figure out the balance between freedom and responsibility and learn through reflection. No subjects are taught. Children are free to craft their own learning. There was a time when soft skills training was a rage. Companies enthusiastically offered training on public speaking, time management, and so on to their employees. Today, they offer training on mindfulness meditation, on personal transformation, and so on. Words like choice, freedom, authenticity, words that used to be a part of only philosophical discourse, have now found their way into mainstream conversations at workplaces, at educational institutions, even at casual conversations among people. But what exactly are those words? Where did those words come from? Today, more so than ever, we need philosophy. Given the fast pace of life and the always-on lifestyle, we have very little time to stay put and reflect. We have too much independence, but do we have freedom? Do we even grasp the difference between the two? Independence is about breaking free from the constraint imposed by others. Freedom, however, is breaking free from the constraints imposed by oneself. To deal with lack of independence, we use struggle. Struggle gets manifested as fighting, proving something, making someone wrong, passing judgments. To deal with lack of freedom, we use choice. Choice is one of the most profound exercise of all human faculties available to us. Are we actually free, even though we are independent? Among among several philosophical traditions in the world that inquire into freedom and other aspects of being human, existentialism clearly stands out for me. Existentialism is a collection of ideas born out of an inquiry into fundamental questions that have haunted humanity for a long time. These are questions like, who am I? What is the nature of reality? What does it mean to be? What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of life itself? If you ask people what they do for a living, they're likely to respond something like this. I work in this or that company, or I'm doing this or that project. But if you ask the same question to an existentialist, they're likely to respond, I live for a living. You see, the focus of life for an existentialist is living it, or more specifically, living authentically. For an existentialist, authenticity is a big deal. Authenticity is all about being unapologetically human in the face of reality in all its forms. To be a human is to possess the human body, to possess its mind, its capacity to think, to choose, to ponder over the past, to make choices about the future, and most importantly, to be responsible for the human condition in its entirety. To study existentialism means to study the human condition. It also means to shift the goalpost from things like money, status, position, fame, and so on to authenticity. Authenticity provides space for an individual to have money, status, and fame, and other things. But more importantly, it empowers one to reach for something beyond. It empowers one to reach for aliveness. I would love for us to explore ideas from existentialism, particularly authenticity. Let's talk about these ideas for a day and reflect on our own lives through the lens offered by these ideas. I guarantee you that you will walk away with fresh and empowering perspectives about your body, about your life, about the world around you, about your relationships, about your work, but most importantly, about your notion of self and the purpose of life.